Hi and welcome. Today I'm doing something a little bit different. I'm actually reviewing a tea, a specific brand tea, which I don't normally do. Furthermore, it's a tea bag, which should really surprise you. So let me explain that earlier this week I caught a bit of traffic on the internet talking about this product, the Lipton large leaf range, and the suggestion was that it's been released in Australia only to see how it goes. I don't know if that's true or not, but several people overseas have told me that, and I thought, if this brand is actually coming up with something different and new and it's actually quality in a bag, then we need to have a look at it, and that might change my thinking on tea bags. Alternatively, if it ain't much good, it might reinforce my thinking on tea bags. So I decided to do a bit of a taste test of it, but also an examination of it, and actually look at it in conjunction with some other teas. So just to have a look at what we've got here, I've got a supermarket tea bag, costs about 5 cents a bag. I've got the Lipton's large leaf, which they claim is a pyramid bag. Obviously it's a tetrahedron. Any idiot knows that a pyramid has a square bottom, but not the tea industry apparently. Then we have a English breakfast blend I bought from the local tea merchant. And then I made my own English breakfast blend. So I looked up the sort of ingredients normally go in it, I examined it a bit, and I also used really good teas. So I guess what I'm saying is that is what an English breakfast can be. Now I'm just going to go to my second camera here to have a bit of a closer look at those. But first I'm going to actually cut the tea bags open so we can actually have a look at what's inside them. So that's the Lipton one. And this is the supermarket brand one. Right, here we go. So we start with the supermarket one. It's quite fine, CTC. Yeah, looks pretty rubbishy. Then we go to the Lipton bag. Now clearly is a not as fine a leaf. It's not the dust we've got over here. It's a CTC tea, probably at about, it looks to me like some of the more supermarkety loose leaf blends, they tend to be quite small. Then we've got my local tea merchant's English breakfast blend. It's a good look, looks like there's some nilgiri in there for starters, and maybe some keema. There we go. And then we have my own English breakfast blend, which I made up for a bit of a laugh, and it uses some really fine Darjeelings, and I do expect that to be quite spectacular. So it's not really a fair comparison. It's just I was wondering how good English breakfast tea could be. Okay, so let's without further ado get into it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to steep all of these for as long as I think they need. So rather than give them all the same amount of time, I don't think that's fair. One of the things that's a bit bizarre about these tea bags, and I looked at them yesterday, is they've kind of got some form of thing where they're all sort of stuck together. I'm not sure that's just a manufacturing fault. Now it is 2 grams of tea in each case, and I've weighed the tea bags to make sure, and so we're getting a fair comparison. Here we go. So I'll pour this now. I warmed the glasses up, so hopefully we won't have any nasty incidents. Okay. Well, first thing that's obvious is we've got some differences in the colour, as you'd expect. We've got quite a rich colour from the supermarket one. Very pale colour from the Lipton one there. Maybe just jiggle that around a bit. We've got a nice caramel colour from the local tea merchants. And we've got a sort of a yellowy colour from my own blend. So let's. I'm going to have to give that another minute or so. Now, an English breakfast blend, to my mind, should be a combination of Indian, Ceylon and Chinese teas. That's the big three. The reality is that African tea can be a lot cheaper, and and a lot of the big majors have large plantations in Kenya, in Malawi, Zimbabwe, places where it can be cheaper to grow tea. And a lot of those teas have not dissimilar characteristics to some of the Assams, but they tend to be different too. One of the real things for me is that Kenyan tea can be redder looking than Indian tea, but then so can some of the Chinese. So you can't really use vision as a 100% accurate guide to tea. Now I would suggest to you that the supermarket tea is ready to sip. It's very, very fine stuff, so I'm not surprised at that. Okay, lots of adjectives come to mind, and probably the main one would be horrid. It's vaguely soapy. Let's give it another go. Give it the benefit of the doubt. It's almost a biscuity aftertaste. A bit unimpressed. I'm going to let Lipton go just for a second. I'm going to try my local tea merchant's English breakfast. Yeah, it's okay. I mean, it must be said that English breakfast is not one of my favourite blends. Because I tend to drink single origin tea and enjoy the particular characteristics of the tea. Well, that's okay, a bit weak for my taste. Right, let's go with the Lipton's one. I'll just take another sip before I say what I think I need to say. That is the worst cup of tea I would have tasted in many a long month. It's vastly inferior to the 5 cent a bag supermarket brand. It's certainly nowhere near as good as the local tea shop's English breakfast tea, and I mean, this was never a fair comparison to taste my own carefully blended one using really refined teas, but I'm going to give that a go. It's rather spectacular. So I think when it comes to this, now it's described as large leaf. I don't know why. CTCT doesn't look particularly large, unless it's suggesting it's made from large tea leaves to begin with. I would suggest to you that this is a supermarket product. It belongs in the supermarket. If it was branded cheap tea, I'd have no problems with it. The fact that they're making a song and dance about it, they're advertising on TV, they're putting it in magazines, they're convincing people it's somehow a top-notch product. If I was the sort of person to give stars, it wouldn't get me. I'll see you next time. I'm going to drink this one.